Coming up, let's go to our ring announcer, Larry Black, and meet the fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event. Introducing first, in the red corner from Shreveport, Louisiana. He is 25 years old, stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, and weighed in at 165.5 pounds. His American kickboxing record is 24 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, with 21 wins by knockout. He is rated in the honorable mention category in the world ratings. Welcome, please, Charlton Young. His opponent is in the blue corner from Dillon, South Carolina. 24 years old, 5 feet 11 inches tall. He weighed in today at 169 pounds. With a contact karate American kickboxing record of 25 wins, 4 losses, and 9 of his wins coming by the KO. He is ranked as the number 7 light middleweight in the world and is the former world welterweight champion. Let's have a big Atlanta welcome for Johnny Davis. This middleweight bout is scheduled for 7 rounds. Our scoring judges are Glenn Keeney, Jeff Smith, and Truman Irving. Our kick judges, Jeff Pruitt and Greg Souther. Our PKC supervisor is Dale McCutcheon. The referee is Bill Clark.
Johnny, let's go.
And Bill Clark will bring our 2 fighters to ring center. This should be a gem. 7-round middleweight bout coming up. Johnny Davis on your right, Charlton Young on your left. Here's Bill Clark's final instructions.
Break. I want you to quit punching, quit kicking, keep your hands up, protect yourself, but stop fighting. Don't hit your opponent with anything other than your gloves or your kicks. Don't lean against him, put your head on him, or rest on him. Both understand that? Try not to hold each other. I'll warn you 2 times and then penalize you. We'll go back, we'll bow to me, to each other, and have a great fight. Johnny, you'll be right here.
All right, the 2 fighters are ready. Johnny Davis, 25-4.
Right here, face this
Charlton Young, 24-7.
Bow, timekeeper, fight.
Bill Clark points at the timekeeper, and boy, it didn't take him long to get underway. Brad Nessler, Joe Corley, and Boom Boom Jeffrey on with you. Round 1 here, 7-round middleweight bout at the Limelight in Atlanta. These are 2 excellent fighters.
Remember, Charlton Young brings in the power from a heavier division, whereas Johnny Davis has come up from a lighter division. But we saw Johnny Davis last month here, actually 2 weeks ago on ESPN, fighting Larry McFadden, and did not seem to be intimidated in the middleweight division. That's
one of the best fights we've had so far, I think, Joe, in the American Kickboxing Series. McFadden and Davis put on a great show here a couple of weeks ago.
Only 0.4 of a point separating their scores. Overall, it was a split decision. Johnny Davis still feels like it went the wrong way. Even the decimal system doesn't get rid of the confusion that comes from close fights.
Takes a while mentally, too, Boom Boom, to come back when you lose a fight that's that close. I would think you go back to train, and there's maybe just a little bit of doubt in your mind, or that frustration can get to you at times.
I have to say yes. You know, every time that you step in a ring or any kind of sport that you play and you don't have your confidence back, you better go back in the gym or whatever you have to do it properly to get back, because you never know which guy you're going to meet. You see, for those big guys like that, I think they're very quick for their size. Very, very quick.
Charlton Young on the right, Johnny Davis on the left. Johnny, it's been continuous movement throughout this fight for him. Continues to circle to his left, and Charlton Young, the aggressor. And both have done a great job so far in the early going of slipping punches. Both have thrown some pretty good combinations, but most of it has caught the gloves.
Davis had his leg in the air then. Charlton Young threw a left round kick. It caught under the leg. Said it is not a foul. I think that's what I understood Bill Clark to say. The time is stopped. We see the time still coming down on the screen there, but the time is stopped.
So they touch gloves. Accidental low kick. We start to wind to a close here. Good right hand by Charlton Young as we come to the close of round 1. I think, Joe Corley.
Very close round and very, very difficult to score even with the decimal systems on there. I'm going to leave this one completely to the judges.
Keep your kicks up.
Bill Clark with a warning to Charlton Young to keep his kicks up. Young says, hey, I just threw it out there and Johnny walked into it. What can I tell you? Faked the spinning back kick and came with a left round kick. The ballet action out there.
Charlton Young has not hesitated fighting the meanest, the toughest guys in the sport, from heavyweight division, light heavyweight division, you name it. He's been in there with him. He says he feels much better at this weight. He's running marathons now, running 26-mile marathons. That's helping him keep the weight down. At one time, he was 235 pounds.
Wow.
He now wants to fight Bob Thunder Thurman for the light middleweight champion of the world at the 163.9 category.
Speaking of Thurman, he'll be on a card coming up in November that we'll have for you.
Be live from the Nautilus Sports Medical Complex, their corporate headquarters in Lake Helen, Florida, with Bob Thurman and probably against Bob Hannigan, November 20th.
Charlton Young on the right and Johnny Davis on the left. Davis ducked under that glancing right hand. Neither fighter's been hurt, and neither is connected with a major punch that's exactly hurt either one of them here at this stage of round 2.
Right, I think they're both caution. You know, they're just watching each other, and I want to see the next round. You want to see a little different.
Davis has the advantage in speed. I think Young has the advantage in power. If Young is to capitalize on that advantage, he's going to have to cut the ring off, as we say, on Davis, put him in a corner somewhere and work on him.
Johnny
so far,
Davis
he's following Davis around the ring.
And there's the end of round 2. Johnny Davis and Charlton Young. And for one, I'm glad that I'm not scoring this thing, because it's been close. There's Charlton Young in his corner out of Shreveport, Louisiana, 5'11 and a half, 165 and a half pounds, with Ray Paxton, his corner man over there, giving him some in-between round instructions. Charlton Young with an excellent record, 24-7-1, and 21 of those wins by knockout. So he's got the knockout power. And we may see that yet before this one's all over. 5 rounds or less to go. There's Johnny Davis. He listens to Scott McMillan over in his corner.
Working with him there in the corner is Gonzalez, who was the bronze medalist in the light, one of the weight divisions in the '84 Olympics. We're speaking with him last night. He can't get the kind of boxing matches he's looking for now.
Need to be a little quicker over there.
Charlton Young using every last second of that time. In fact, a little too much time. And referee Bill Clark said, got to be a little quicker over there, as he was late coming out of his corner for this 3rd round. But he's come out strong now, and both fighters having at it. Johnny Davis chooses the combination and then to back up a little bit. Charlton Young still on the attack. We're in the 3rd round, scheduled for 7 in the middleweights. Good round kick to the left kidney area of Johnny Davis by Charlton Young.
Johnny Davis won the world welterweight title from Alvin Crowder in Denver, Colorado, early part of 1985. He lost the title in mid-85 to Ricky Haynes in Rockford, Illinois. A lot of people thought that Johnny Davis didn't have the heart then to stay in the ring, but I tell you, in his last bout last month with Larry McFadden, which we saw here on ESPN 2 weeks ago, there was no question that he has grit, determination, and plenty of heart to go with it at this point.
I got to think this is a very, very pivotal fight for him, though, Joe. He loses this one to Young. It sets him back quite a ways.
It really could.
3rd round, about the midway portion of round 3. Johnny Davis still very fresh. Young still, but...
You know, Joe, I agree with you, what you were saying before. I think that Young's going to have to cut the ring in half, because he's been chasing Davis all night. And I think that Davis, he knows what he's doing. He knows that Young is strong. And oh, here's a good left.
Both fighters exchange a pretty good combination. Johnny Davis on the ropes. He's going to have to get out of there. Throws the left hook to back away. Just going to say, more of a plotter is Charlton Young. Johnny Davis is perpetual motion throughout this fight. And Young maybe not quite fast enough to cut the ring off. Johnny's pretty quick out there.
What you mean when you say cut the ring off is move the guy over a little bit at a time, just a little piece at a time over into the corner.
There's a big right hand by Johnny Davis. The bell, Charlton Young in trouble because he took a serious shot under the left eye, and he has opened a cut, has Johnny Davis. Charlton Young obviously upset. They're going to have to maybe take a look at this, Joe.
It's under the eye. It won't interfere with his vision. I doubt if the doctor would stop the fight with a cut like that unless it was something...
Just a ripping right hand, I think, is what did it.
You hear, I heard John Keating say, the doctor say in the corner, Dr. Keating say that it was definitely a bad cut. I don't know what that means, if that means it'll have some impact on his decision stopping the fight or not. Usually you stop the fight on a cut if it interferes with the vision. That spinning back fist may have done it right there. It landed on the cheekbone.
It was hard to tell. I think the punch was a little delayed as far as the blood flow.
Bill Clark's indicating that the fight has been stopped on that cut.
It's all over. It's all over. They'll take out the mouthpiece of Charlton Young, and this fight is over. And Johnny Davis just now realizing that the fight is all over. And he comes over to embrace Charlton Young as they took a look at the cut under the left eye of Charlton Young, and a very elated Johnny Davis doing a dance around the ring. He's won a big fight here. His 26th victory, and maybe another step towards moving up in the middleweight ranks. But Charlton Young obviously disgruntled at this point. He was still very fresh, but the referee and the ringside doctors deciding that the cut was not something they wanted to mess with here, because Johnny Davis still very strong and is the winner here in the third round. When we come back, we'll have the official decision, and we'll be joined by Don Willis, Director of U.S. Operations for the Professional Karate Commission, man who deserves a lot of credit for the safety record in American kickboxing.
Of Charlton Young has stopped the fight. Winner by technical knockout, Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis out of Dillon, South Carolina, the winner, and still happy, still a lot of energy left, obviously, and maybe he would have had to use a lot more had that cut not occurred under Charlton Young's left eye. But the winner, Johnny Davis, is with our Joe Corley in the ring. Let's go to Joe.
Johnny, when you were here a month ago, we only saw it on ESPN 2 weeks ago. I wasn't seeing a smile either from you or Scott McMillan. You're feeling better now, obviously.
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm feeling a lot better. And first of all, I'd like to thank Jesus Christ for giving me the strength, because I played really hard. Last time I was here, it was a pretty good fight. It was close. Thought I got a kind of up decision, but, those things happen. I do want Larry McFadden. I want people to know that. I want a rematch with him. And I know the PKC will put that together for me, hopefully. And but, I'm ready to go now. That fight probably done more good for me than bad in any way.
I'm a little bit confused. Are you seeking the middleweight division now, or is it the light middleweight division?
Light middleweight. I don't want to fight middleweight division. Those guys are a little heavy, but I don't mind, fighting this way, But I would like to just fight 163 when fight time comes around. But
could you feel the power from Charlton Young coming down from the heavier divisions? Was he able to land with anything that got your respect?
Oh, yeah. I had his respect from the get-go, because I seen him fight Joe Louis, and it was a tough fight. And I knew he was
you won the Battle of Atlanta that same night in Point Karate.
I was a little kid then, I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? But I feel like maturity has a lot to do with my winning now. Hopefully it will, stay on. Maturity is a big plus. At 22 years old, I was world champion. And, that's a lot of pressure on a little 22-year-old, So I learned a lot since then. And the first fight, I was a little cautious with Larry and all. But this time, I just said, hey, look, Johnny, I'm going for it. And I'm going to put everything I got. I'm a fighter now. One time I just did it for the game. And my fighting ability, my kicking and punching ability is just natural. I work hard for it, but it's more or less natural. And I won with that. But now I'm winning with maturity, skill. It's a big difference.
Well, Johnny Davis, articulate, former champion, looks forward to being the light middleweight champion of the world. The man that's standing in the way right now, Brad, is Bob Thunder Thurman.
All right, Joe Corley, so maybe a rematch in the offing with Larry McFadden and maybe Bob Thunder Thurman somewhere down the line. But for tonight, a TKO at the end of round 3 for Johnny Davis, our winner. And we'll have more coming up from Atlanta after this word.